to the Guys Unpacked. This is Dre.
This is Rich, and today we got the big homie Hector.
How you doing?
Hector C. Mr. Hookie Life himself is in the building.
Mr.
How you doing?
So before we get started, as always, make sure you guys log on, like and subscribe. Click the link to get all the notifications
Right
every
there.
time we have new episodes.
All that.
All of that.
All that.
Dre, so hang on. Before we even get to you, Heck,
Yep.
what we got going on, Dre? What's on the agenda?
Okay, so strictly the best. Yep, strictly the best. Talking to you guys and you guys. I don't care. It's a follow up to the first one. So the first one a couple weeks ago was the Soco edition. This next one is going to be on April 17th. It's a Sunday.
April 17th.
Brunch time, not brunch included, but brunch time. You can purchase brunch there down at 1942 on 9th Street. The theme this time is 90s hip hop and R&B. It'll be a smaller venue, so less tickets going to be sold. As understood, it's going to be Maji and Quicksilver, so it's going to be pretty serious when it comes to music.
90s hip hop and R&B.
I mean, it's like that memory lane is going to be crazy. So
80s babies, millennials, older millennials, y'all know this one's for us.
Yep. The link right here, tickets.
Go get your tickets.
Yep.
ASAP. They said 1942, nice spot, intimate, smaller venue. So
Get your tickets because once it's sell out, it's sell out.
Guys, it. And of course, Sunday, April 24th, you know my big birthday bash is back. Thing called Prestige. We got Rigo Suave, Just Jay, DJ Hazard, White Boy, DJ Precious Lane, all hosted by DJ Majestic, going down inside of Privilege, DC, 1115 U Street Northwest. Make sure you come out dressed springtime sexy, early party, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. So organize yourself, get your tickets now. LogicPromotionsDC.com.
Right there.
And we gonna see y'all Sunday, April 24th. Usually it's a 7 this year.
Usually I'm the one that's making a mistake.
Right. This year because my birthday is on the Sunday.
It's gonna be
doing
nuts.
it on the Sunday, so
Right.
it's gonna be a situation.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a trend. Sunday parties now. I'm
Yeah.
seeing that.
So I'm gonna tell you, like the way we roll,
Mhm.
and this is a follow up of old episodes as well. Yo, it's all love. I'm not trying to go up against nobody else.
I ain't with the
You know
fight.
what I'm saying? Why am I fighting you to throw in a bet for the same people? I'm gonna let you do yours, your day, and I'm gonna do my day.
Facts.
Until people stop moving their parties to Sunday too, and
And then we're gonna move to another day.
Wednesday fest
Wednesday
comes around.
Wednesday, simple.
Whiskey Wednesday.
Right.
I
Hold on.
Tequila Thursday.
Hold on.
You know,
Right. Watch, dog. DC one of them places all week, dog. I see Rose Bar lit on a Monday.
So it used to be.
Yeah.
I feel like it still is.
What, the
Is it
industry Mondays or something like that.
something. I would see somebody post, like people who go would post every, and it'd be like Tuesday morning. You're looking at videos like, man, when was this?
Yeah.
It'd be like Industry Mondays or whatever. I'm like, it was last night.
I might be a little too old, but honestly, there was a point in time, like 15 years ago, bro. Like we used to be outside every day except for shit. It was every day because it was Monday to every day, dog. Every day.
So Hector,
Not me.
welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
Thanks for making it finally.
Thanks for the invitation. You know?
Nah, I don't try that. You've been invited many times.
But now, so okay, we're gonna get right into it.
All right.
Mr. Hookie Life himself in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the folks a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the brand.
All right. My name is Hector C. Part of Mystic Vibe 6.0, of course, and of course Hookie Life. We've been in the DC area for the last under the Hookie brand, I guess, for the last 14, 15 years, something like that. I believe. And of course, in DC as a whole, through Mystic Vibes for like the last 20 plus years, umpteen years, whatever.
Before I was a big DJ.
Yeah. I mean, for those of you who don't know, we did a radio show. So Mystic Vibes got to start as a radio show back at the University of Maryland. So we did that for like 8 years, ran through a few different stations here and there. And then eventually we kind of decided to do like events and transitioned from Mystic Vibes doing events to eventually became Hookie and then all that other stuff. So that's pretty much it. Us in a nutshell, or me in a nutshell.
Gotcha. Linked up with the fellas. The Tom,
Yeah. So we kind of combined. So there was at one point where it was like Mystic Vibes, which was the sound, and then you had Dark Water, which was Todd and Kevin, and they were doing stuff. In fact, I was DJing for their events, and I said, guys, based on some of the stuff that you guys do, based on stuff that we do, we should just combine to one. And then eventually we became Hookie Life. So,
Yep.
So that's how we came about.
And the rest is DC history at this point.
Yeah,
So
I guess you would say so, yeah.
For a point, the only thing that was keeping the DC Carnival weekend going was the pool party.
Yeah, man. It's so crazy because, we started in 2010 and DC Carnival was still happening at that point. And you guys been to the first one, you know how small that one was.
I remember.
It
was a vibe, though.
It was a vibe. We had honestly, probably had about 40 people.
Right.
If that. I don't know.
I was taxi cab driver then.
Listen. Yeah. So, we actually had Private Ryan at the first one. So, and then eventually just sheer determination, hard work, sweat, etc. You know what I mean? And support from family and friends. It grew to what it is right now. So now we're doing a full weekend. This year we're doing 6 events. That's pretty much it. So
6 events.
Yeah.
That gives me anxiety just thinking about them, bro. What are the 6 events? Line them up.
All right. So first event is at this point I think it's DC's one of the longest standing Caribbean events. That's Release Therapy.
Yep.
That's been
the Thursday, right?
Yep.
The free party.
It used to be free.
So in the past, it's been free, but because we're
you're busting files though.
You know what I'm saying? It was free,
right? Because that is just from loose affiliation or I get licks too,
Sure.
Hector
and them post a flyer that Rich shared his flyer. Rich shared the flyer. Wait now. I'm like, damn, I don't.
Yeah, I saw the post. Somebody was like, "Yo,
distributor."
It used to be free, but now it's not free. Well, it's not free because we're bringing Adam O. So
this year,
it's a good reason why the cost now.
So we're trying to bring value to the weekend and to the event.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So and spreading it across as opposed to having everything on one event. I like it.
Exactly. So and then everybody knows about Hookie.
Well, what's the angle? So let's get the dates. We ain't
dates
yet.
So what's that? So the weekend starts off Thursday, June 16th. Right.
Okay.
So Thursday, June 16th, that's taking place over at Ivy City.
Yep.
All right. So you definitely want to check that out.
Good wings.
Good wings. Nice brunch. Very nice brunch.
Very nice brunch at Ivy.
We'll
We're going.
Because
we'll touch the brunch a little later.
All right.
And then the next event is Hookie.
Yep.
Hookie DC, the arcade. Yes, there's an arcade theme this year, and we'll discuss that a bit. But performing live, we have Kess, we have Mr. Killer, and we have Voice performing live.
Big artist lineup.
Yeah,
big artist lineup.
That's a huge lineup, bro.
Yeah, that's the muted lineup.
That's called mess right there.
Yeah.
And honestly, the thing with that lineup is all of them artists can perform.
Yeah.
And also, I'll even throw in there, because what he hasn't said is we don't know what DJs are going to be there. So you know there are going to be some DJs, some heavy hitters as well.
Right.
Yeah. That are going to... I already know how you roll, bro. Okay.
I won't say it yet. We'll announce that pretty soon. But
all right.
I like that when we don't mind saying the artists, but we want to keep the DJs right now. We're like, we want to hold on to that one.
But also at the same time, though, you can't book Kess and not say you book Kess. You know what I mean? Like,
no, for sure.
Like Kess is not a surprise artist
At all.
At all. You announced that one.
Well, I can't wait to hear Jolene live.
Oh yeah.
That is my song for the season.
Little slow for me.
I don't mind.
Out and bad is why I waited. Nah.
Well, he'll be there.
Right.
So we're going to hear that too.
That's what I'm saying. You hear Out and Bad live.
And then both of them together, dear promoter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
You know, that was supposed to happen in 2020.
But of course, as
but COVID thought otherwise.
Right. And they don't give back deposits, so they were like, we'll hold the date until you're available.
Listen, y'all have no idea. Listen, y'all don't even understand. Let's talk about this real quick.
Right.
2020, when COVID hit, and we knew that our deposits had been out since December, and we were like, it was like Will Smith just came in.
ooh.
So we had to sit on that for...
That's huge though, because if I'm thinking this correctly, that means that you didn't even know that those songs are actually going to be as big as they were. So you actually got in before the hype behind some of their songs because this is before COVID that he would have put down.
So this is December of 2019.
Of 1990. Yeah, 19.
Right. And then COVID started to make waves overseas around November.
Right.
It didn't hit the States hard
until March.
Till March.
Right.
So
we didn't hear about it till like February.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And according to Trump, it still isn't here. So if you listen to who was in charge at the time, it never made it. So
listen, that time period was so crazy because I mean, you think about it. We had PCP that happened. That was the week before. That was the last spread before everything shut down, right? So we had that going on. We were in the midst of finalizing Hookie Jamaica, which was happening a month later.
Sure.
And then also still planning for Hookie DC. So we were just like, oh my God, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
How long is this gonna be?
I remember how it went. It went me and White Boy through Blaze. Mm-hmm. Then we went Trinidad.
Yep.
Then came back from Trinidad, hit PCP.
Yep. And then everything shut down.
Then the night Sekou getting ready to throw a party.
Right.
Everything shut down.
Talk done. Mm-hmm. And that was it for 2 years. More or less. So
it was so crazy. And the funny thing is, I did not go to Trinidad because I was like, well, I'm going to Jamaica. So I'll be fine. Let me just wait. It don't make sense. Just wait, and then I'll have a time of my life, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Boom! I was like, oh.
So I'm totally embracing the whole Marine Semper Fi. I'm seizing the fucking day.
No,
if there's an opportunity to do some shit, I'm doing it.
A friend of ours had said jokingly, he was like, "I'm glad I went Trinidad 2020 because let me tell you, my wife kind of didn't want me to go, and he's like." Anyhow, she had talked me out of going, and then this happened. He was like, I don't know if we were not lasting. So of course, he said it jokingly. If you figured out who I'm talking about, but of course,
I told you though. I'd be salty, dog.
Dog, I'd be salty. I'd be in the house like,
this some bullshit.
I was so upset. I was like, yo,
And when's the last time you've been Trinidad for Carnival? Because it's been a minute for you too, right? I remember Anthony was 2016?
2016.
I'm actually worse. I went to Trinidad in 2016 to DJ a wedding, but for Carnival, I think it was 2015. It was the last time I went.
Jason stood up for you.
Yeah, Jay, all right.
Jay and I, we lime inside of...
Yeah, because Jay was there 2020, right?
Yes, he was there.
He was there
and he hadn't been...
He hadn't been for a while either.
For a while. It was for a while or was ever? Had he been before?
Either way, he was 2020. Right.
I think this is his first time.
He was there 2020, right? So and 2020 was a good look, though.
Oh my
but you know what? Look, you going 23?
Dude, I started looking for tickets today.
Looking.
Yeah.
Oh, I buy my tickets last week, though. I buy my tickets already.
I started looking. So we'll see.
So all right.
So after Hookie.
Okay. Well, not even after Hookie yet. We still on Hookie. So tell us a little bit about the arcade theme because that was
He's excited if you didn't know.
Right. I want to... That and the other one that was clearly made for me, but clearly.
All right. So the arcade theme. Recently, ever since Hookie X, we decided to kind of go with the route of the theme for the theme events. So in 2020, we were supposed to do Atlantis, right?
Okay.
But of course, COVID happened. So rather than kind of keep that theme and have that same idea running for 3 years, we was like, nah, let's just change it up and do something completely different. So the arcade theme just kind of came and was like, something. We pitched to our team about 4 or 5 different events, four or five different themes. And we're like, you know what? This kind of fits the best.
Okay.
This fits the best. And it's something different. You don't see that in effect.
So,
what I actually love about this is that typically for, if you pay for Juve in the Caribbean, whatever the theme is, they give you everything. Right? This is almost like a hybrid between what Ryan does for Brainwash and Juve, because now people can be as creative as they want to come in.
But they are still getting.
Sure.
It's not just
right. No, yeah. But what I mean though is let's say both of us wanted to dress up the same thing, but we didn't know.
Right.
Your creativity is going to send you one way. Mine is going to send me a different way. Right. Unless we're both lazy and say, all right, let me go to Party City and find that thing.
Let me throw. It's an Asian theme. Let me throw on an Asian soccer jersey.
Right.
No, that was creative, dog. No, that was creative as hell.
So Ryan for Treasures of the Orient. Everybody come decked out in some. This man.
I saw. It was a Japan soccer, and there was only one other person in one, and his was like the away, mine was the home. So like it was perfect.
Two men was lazy down there. Two men wake up that morning and say, "And what happened in my closet that could?"
He was like,
Japan.
I followed the theme.
I had to get it directly from Japan, by the way. So I spent some money on that jersey.
Right, all right. You put the most investment into yours, if not the most time. So
that's right.
So all right. So that was Hookie, and of course, is it a pool party? Because as a
people. All right. Let me address each one of these cameras.
Right?
All right.
Mind you, by the time they look at
it, pool party. Right. Hookie is a pool party, guys. It is a pool party. Hookie DC has always been a pool party.
Right.
Yep.
As long as we can help it, it will always be a pool party in DC.
Is it going to be like the 2019 pool? Is it going to be?
Yeah, very similar. Very similar. We're not gonna, you know how y'all black folks do.
Right.
About 3-4 y'all going to the pool and the rest.
Right.
Thousands of people outside the pool.
That's how it goes.
Look, I pulled up a picture from Skyline.
Skyline is, yeah.
Rest in peace, Skyline. And it was the crowd.
Yes.
And literally 3 dots in the because it was one of the shots that was taken like from the hotel.
Right.
So you could just get the overhead.
Yep.
And 3 dots in the water.
Yeah.
Whole crowd of people outside. Everybody dry as a bone, dog. Not a person in the water. And it's like from that time I was like, is there gonna be a pool? Like,
does it really matter? It's like, are you going to
I see the questions all the time, and I'm like, you guys don't even go to the pool half the time.
But I think the beauty of it, though, with Hookie in particular, is that it's not a solely Caribbean party either.
Right.
So you do have Americans that love the idea of being able to hop in a pool, even though if they go to a regular pool party, they would never get jump in the pool. So it works out. It works out.
Exactly.
all right. So that's Hookie Friday.
Yeah.
Now, what's the next up?
All right, next up is Lions Pride Juve.
Okay, Vanna White.
Lions Pride.
Lions Pride Juve.
Dre Vanna White over there.
This year's theme is heroes versus villains.
I've clearly been preparing for this theme for years.
he's like, I was born for this.
I saw the theme. I was like, I already have my outfit. I don't buy nothing.
Do you?
Dog, all of my gym stuff is superhero.
That is true.
Every gym
as you take every picture, I'm like,
completely.
Can you take a different picture? You take the same picture every time.
They're about to be topless soon, dog. So
true. Cheers to your water.
Well, yeah, I can't say the same. but no, I mean, heroes versus villains. One of our spouses proposed that, right? Okay. And we were like, I don't know. And then we really thought about it, said, yo, this would be wicked. And I think it's funny. So for those who don't know, we do give out shirts for LPJ, right?
Yep.
Right.
But I think this is going to be the 1 year where people are going to just like completely not even wear the shirts and be in full all-out costumes.
Of course.
You're definitely.
Of course.
I foresee that.
I think that started last year with the Mad Circus.
Mad Circus, yeah.
And then I could definitely see this year. I mean, I know I'm definitely. I'm coming in theme. Like I can tell you that from right now.
Right. So. I'm gonna have my typical Juve shirt.
Jesus Christ! From like last 6-7 years,
clean up crew though.
Last 6-7.
Now he's gonna wear a cape with it.
Exactly. I might have to make a new one.
Super hazard.
A cape, a little mask, and a broom. So
I should be a hero sandwich, bro. I should be a hero sandwich.
Bruh.
It would work.
Bruh.
It would work.
That would work. 100%.
See, I'm all about being creative, dog.
That would work.
What you should have done is not said nothing.
People like, is that a sandwich tray? Yes, I'm a hero.
I can see him. I can see your ass walking up. This fool trying to get up on top of the truck.
I gotta get up on the truck.
Short pants and a sandwich.
How you mean? The shortest.
Oh my God.
Just legs and sandwich.
This can go in so many directions. Okay, so after heroes versus villains,
All right, so after Hillsborough, we got Shine DC.
Okay.
So tell a little bit of the backstory on Shine.
All right, so obviously, myself and Back to Basics have a pretty good relationship. Worked together various different events over the years,
Sure.
and was it probably like 3 years ago? I think it was maybe
When it came back?
Yeah.
3-4 years ago.
I had a conversation with him. I said, "Look, man, we want to do something kind of shore up the whole Hookie weekend.
Sure.
You have a great brand. We have a great brand. It only makes sense that we work together. Let's bring back Shine to DC.
Because Shine was here before when...
years ago, yeah.
Okay.
Years ago. Probably about, over 10 years ago.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and it was a pretty big Sunday event.
Yep.
It was Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sunday. Yep. So, yeah, we decided it makes sense to bring that back. So, yeah.
That's Saturday after Juve.
Saturday after Juve, 6 p.m. at Karma.
Okay.
So you definitely want to make your way.
Once you guys, 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Short turnaround.
Woo.
Listen.
All right. And it's ending at what time? You have Karma until. Okay.
We have it until. Yeah.
Because it's still a Saturday night. Honestly, a spot like Karma, once you go past 11,
you might as well stay out.
You have the option. Not to say you have to stay that late, but because it's not like they're gonna bring in another party that'll start after that.
I mean, we advertised at 12, but I think the last time we ended at like 2:33 or something like that. So
like normal parties.
Yeah, I was dead.
Done, of course.
I don't think people appreciate like how exhausting that weekend is.
They don't,
because as a patron, you're coming in. You come in for a couple hours and then leave.
Yeah,
correct.
And then you come to the next thing for a couple. As the people throw in the event,
you're
there
before it starts,
and then you have to. You can't leave till after when you have back-to-back events. Like some people have to leave event A to go
start setting up for
event B. Like,
hello, that's me.
Right. So like, I don't think people really get like just how much that takes a toll to put on a weekend like this.
Yep.
And we're at this point, you're at Shine. So what else? You still have stuff for Hookie Weekend coming up.
Absolutely.
So what's after Shine?
So okay, after Shine is done, Rhythm and Road. What Rhythm and Road is we call our version of Carnival. Carnival Last Lap. So, you throw on your costume, your pretty mask, whatever, and you come down the road. We're gonna be down at Rosecroft, and it's gonna be an experience. It's gonna be an experience.
I see the smirk on your face.
Yeah. Rich knows, but I can't really go into too much details about that.
So without going into too much detail though, so I know at PCP you guys had a band launch.
Yes.
For costumes.
Right.
So is it a case that you can either do that or bring in old costumes, or you have to do that? Like how's that gonna play out?
Okay, so big up the Siren Carnival team. They're the ones who provided masks for us this year.
Okay.
Right. So the big thing is we're letting folks know that you definitely want to try to hook up with them to try to get your own costume. You got 2 different sections, all under the Afrobeats brand.
Sure.
Right. So you definitely want to link up with them. We got information on our website, hookielife.com, so you can register with them. Their stuff is special because not only are you getting a costume, you're getting drinks, you're also getting food. And that's a first that we've never done that before. So if you register with them, you get all that.
Everything.
It's basically an all-inclusive package,
gotcha.
right?
Okay. Go.
So starts at 2, goes until
whenever.
Right.
Yeah.
Whenever we end.
Like it says 8 right now, I think, but apparently because
you never know, Ken.
Right.
All right. So that's the 5th event.
That's the 5th event.
Okay.
And then so finally to end things off, we feel it would be only right to take full advantage of the Juneteenth weekend.
Okay.
So
I got a shirt for this already.
On Monday the 20th, we are doing our first ever Oasis event. Okay. And what that is the Hookie Weekend Wind Down Cool Down Fete.
Okay. So we have to take the day off pretty much.
Well, I mean, if you're a lot of federal employees or state will have that day off.
So I gotta take a day off.
Yeah, I have to take it off.
Or I just have to act like I'm at work, but not really be at work.
Nah, bro, we black. They owe us this.
Yeah.
Yeah, my company doesn't quite work that way.
They owe us this. Dog, you walk out, dog. You're like, no, dog.
Listen,
I'm brown. You owe me.
Listen.
What they started doing for me is like before they used to have one floating holiday.
Yeah.
Now they don't even call it a floating holiday. They've given us 2, and they're called cultural days. So essentially, you can use them for whatever. Like you can use them whenever.
Yeah.
So I think the only 2 cultural days would be MLK.
MLK.
Because we don't usually get that off.
Right.
And then
It's like, all right,
Juneteenth.
it's like, all right, black folks, we know what y'all gonna say.
But then for the Jewish folks, like if they want to take off like Yom Kippur or something like that.
That makes sense though.
Yeah. So I think it's actually a dope concept.
Because they're like, we're not giving all of y'all every day.
We're not sure that.
You pick which 2 cultures you are. Are you Irish this year?
Listen.
Are you Mexican? Are you Cinco de Mayo? Which one you want? Like, take it. You get 2.
So I might have to take mine for that. Okay.
I will have it off already. So like when they announced it last year, we was already like, because when they made the announcement about it, my job was like, all right, y'all, we recognize. Blah blah blah. They already knew. We understand y'all all about. They were like, we're not doing it this year because it's kind of short notice.
Right. We don't have.
However,
next year, y'all
23, y'all got it, and we was like, we got it. Fair enough.
So that's also Father's Day weekend.
That's also Father's Day weekend.
So y'all doing anything special for the fathers at Ritterman Road?
We'll see.
Okay.
It's finding them new baby mothers.
Nah.
All them COVID babies. All them new COVID babies. Come Hookie, find a new baby.
You guys think me next year, right?
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. 6 events.
6 events.
6 big
4
events.
days.
Right, 4 days. And
5 days.
5 days.
5 days, Thursday.
Juneteenth weekend, so that's June 16th through the 20th. And I think 2 of the things, my favorite aspects of it, personally, from a pure patronage standpoint, not even promoting for Hookie Life, is the trucks on the road for Juve. Because
it's that truck that I played on for Juve, brother, man.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, for a lot of, and this is not even a knock or anything like that, but for a long time, like a lot of events would be just, it would be a Juve, but it would be, stationary. Sure. And it's cool, which essentially is a paid party.
Let me say this.
Okay.
Show off, show off.
Yeah.
For me, those are Juve parties.
Right.
We are not a Juve party.
He's like,
right.
hey, there's nuance here. There's nuance to a Juve party.
There's levels. There's levels.
Right. Like, there's no part. The word party is right.
What I'll say that I respect about you guys too is that y'all aren't afraid to start off small and grow.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pause. Like that's so fucking powerful. I'm not a shower, I'm a grower.
27 minutes in, I was early this week.
Cut the video.
Mad early this week, yo. Normally it takes a little
longer. But no, but for real, right? Like if you think about like you guys' first Lions Pride.
Yeah.
Right? And you look at it compared to last year's, it's really, really awesome as a DC native to see the progression. And each year you all trying to do something more than you did the year before. So kudos to you guys for that.
I mean, I think the main thing is like the way how we look at these events and how we look at doing events in DC. And obviously we do events outside of DC, but especially as it pertains to DC. We recall, and I'm going to say this, I recall a time where DC, and this is like a continuation of a conversation that you guys had last week.
Okay. Thanks for checking out the podcast, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Done. Where DC was one of the top producers of a carnival, right? DC Carnival is one of the best carnivals in North America, point blank period. I don't care what anybody want to say.
Thank you.
And
I didn't see it, so.
Well, we know. You were new to the area, but
apparently I came when it was on the downward trajectory.
But I know for myself, I know for Hazard, I know for Cupid. I remember back in the days when you had like your entire year was basically planned about. Last weekend of June, you was going to be there. You know what I'm saying? And the events that was offered. I mean, we had. Remember when Glow was?
I was just about to say Glow. Right? So you remember Glow in Trinidad?
Yes. Yeah.
They brought that exact brand to DC.
Nice.
And there was one year in the new convention center, right? So that floor, it's built for like earthquakes and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. It's not built for a whole bunch of Caribbean people coming to pump, right?
Yeah.
So you have Marshall performing, and everyone is jumping. And the architecture, it's like the floor itself, you can't feel it when you're just walking on it, but it's actually built as a curve.
Yeah.
So when people are jumping, the floor is just it's sinking, and so there's give on purpose, but it's kind of scary if you're not expecting it. But bro, I'm talking about thousands of people just jumping up to my. It was one of the most beautiful.
That on a smaller scale, dog. You may or may not have been there, white boy. You remember the year we did Blaze, and we can't go back to that.
What happened there?
So there was a spot in DC. It used to be an old fire station.
Okay.
On I think like North Capitol.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah,
So we did
the
Blaze
firehouse
there. The first year we did Blaze, and we there partying, and we didn't realize it until like while we walking and people jumping up and like all the new music playing and like Maji playing and doing all of them. And the whole floor is doing this.
Literally bouncing.
And that place was not built to.
It was not. This is not the commission. It was not built.
Not at all.
That's what I said. Even on a smaller scale, was not. It was not set up for what happened that day. Like men literally was texting the next day like, Rich, that was scary, but I had fun, though. I ain't gonna lie, dog.
Those are the best sounds. Those are the best sounds.
A little scary, but I had
did you
fun.
die, though?
Right, exactly. Like, you're texting me today, that means we all made it, right? So,
but I mean, DC Carnival was pretty up there. I mean, to be honest with you, I would say like DC Carnival was only really behind New York and Caravana. I would say it was way ahead in terms of Miami and. Atlanta wasn't even a factor, to be honest with you.
Right.
And it's no shade, but it's just what it was.
I 100% agree.
Back in those days, right? So our thing is this, like, we don't have a carnival. We don't have DC Carnival right now, right? But there's no reason that we can't offer something that's comparable of what you might get in another city.
A tease of it, yeah.
Or maybe even an island, we can offer that. You know what I mean? So we look at certain events like Hookie, we look at certain events like Juve. I feel like it's comparable to what you might get in islands.
For sure.
And actually, when you think about it, it was ahead of the time from what a lot of folks did last year.
Yes.
Without Trinidad having a carnival. So like DC lost the carnival, so then the brand created a smaller self-contained carnival.
Right.
And that's what a lot of the guys did when they said, okay, we're going to do a carnival bubble or or whatever.
But you guys have been doing it.
Yeah, I've been doing that since DC lost the carnival.
Right. We just need DC people to hop on board. Yeah. So as we're on the topic of last episode, so we had Ant here and we talked to him about that. Like, let's unpack that just a little bit because we have another topic we want to talk about. Of course, I mean we all know that.
Right.
But from a party standpoint, you're a promoter. You throw events. Like, I think that there are two things in particular that I'm interested in. Like, one, like, how do you guys plan for the people who decide to buy tickets late, especially when you want to produce the level of event that you're going to be proud of, that is not just a everyday event that you can go to in DC as it is right now?
I think it's important to create scarcity. Like, you just may have to miss a fit. Like, you just may have to miss an event. I think also it's important to create a sense of exclusivity also. That's some of the most important things. Like, we're going to do some stuff that you may not be able to see or experience at another person's event.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's really our goal every single time when we do an event. Like, this experience is going to be exclusive to a Hookie Life event. There's going to be other events. There's going to be many other events, but this experience is going to be exclusive to us.
Dope.
So that's how we look at things. And every year, it becomes harder and harder every year, but that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to accomplish, every single time we roll on an event.
Okay, so softball here now. This could be you answering it from the standpoint of Hookie Life or just in general. Like, what would you like to start seeing in DC more of? So again, it could either be something that you guys, without going into detail, what you guys plan on doing that you haven't done already, or what you would like other promoters to do to uplift the entire ecosystem.
Wow. There's a number of things. I want some of the promoters Okay, well, before I go to top,
Don't be diplomatic, bro.
well, I will say this. I feel that we should be able to take advantage of DC. DC is a beautiful city.
Sure.
And the surrounding areas is a beautiful city. So, in terms of not just going for the regular clubs all the time, not necessarily the hole in the walls, like looking for nice venues, looking for nice spaces.
Yep.
Being outdoors, like DC.
Nothing beats it.
Like this one year where we did the Havana Nights at the spot in Elkridge.
Right. Exactly.
I think we can go back there.
Exactly.
Maybe not you guys.
Yeah, I don't know when we're going back.
Good plug. I think that was some time though.
Listen, between the owner of that property and that spouse, they don't want to see me no more. In fact, they don't even come to our events no more. They said, "You see you?
Watch the tape cut again.
I need you to cover the spell."
Nope, I got it.
But I would like to see more outdoor events.
Okay.
That'd be dope.
I love that.
And I would like to see just some of these, some of the other promoters just pour into your event. You know what I mean? Like, take it serious. Like,
sure.
Like when we doing our stuff, like we plan months
in
in advance. Like it's crazy. Like we talk about the 2020. Like I said, Cass and those guys
were
booked from December.
Sure.
Of 2019,
which could even be considered late by some. Yeah.
But that's before the carnival season, so you don't even actually hear what pops.
And that was actually in terms of just the confirmation. They actually returned the contracts back. You know what I mean? But my point to you is that, like, okay, by the time Hookie's done, honestly, we've already started to kind of sketch out some things what we're going to do for the following year.
Yep.
Right.
I like it.
So I would like to see, people invest into their stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be a fight down thing, like in terms of like promoters or anything like that. Like we all can eat.
Yes.
We all can eat.
There's enough space.
There's enough space for us to eat. Even if like, not in every particular sense, but even if somebody has a conflicting event, you can still eat. If you bring enough people to the city, you get enough people come down to DC, we all can eat. You know what I mean?
No, so look.
Trust me.
I understand where you're coming from, theoretically.
This weekend that just went by, so I thought there were two events happening same time.
Right.
Exact same time, both bringing artists. And I was like, all right, one of them's going to take a L, right? I wasn't wishing it on either one, but I was like, just knowing the dynamics of DC.
Sure.
And it's not a big travel weekend. But apparently, like I've seen videos, both of them ate. So there's enough people
it can be
here.
Right. Yes.
That, you know what I'm saying? But you have to make your event appealing enough to get those people who would have probably rather stay home.
Right, sure. Good point.
You know what I mean? So, because I didn't think it would happen. I saw it because I had friends at both.
Sure.
So videos, I was like, oh shoot.
And that was Karma, and what was it?
The other one was like Elkridge.
Okay,
so they were both far. It wasn't like a lot of overlap of I'm gonna hit this one, then go to the next one. People decided, hey, I'm here, and both looked like they had decent turnout. So shout out to both the promoters that threw those events this weekend.
Big up Holly Juve, right? Because they're a new group on the scene right now.
Yep.
And they came out when they came out, I think it was 2019. They came out the gate like boom.
Yeah, I played for it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was like you saw that, right? You're like,
I was there. I was very surprised for a first year
event, first out the gate, and you're like, okay.
They put together a good promotional campaign. I will say.
And I'll also say I don't want to say took a page out of your book, but they definitely did what you were talking about as far as planning, because they started positioning that party well in advance.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think part of it was because it was a brand new event that no one had ever known about. But yeah, it turned out like, especially in Baltimore too.
Exactly.
I was like, This is a vibe.
And they took advantage, and that's what I'm saying. Like there's opportunity. Listen, all the stuff that we've done in terms of events, if you think about it, we just carved out a little niche.
Sure.
That's all we really did. Like, decided to do a pool party. Simple thing. You know what I mean? We decided to do a Juve. Like
it.
So that's really it.
I like it.
That's the main thing.
So I think there's one more thing that we haven't touched on. And the only reason that I want to really talk about it before we go into the next topic is because as you know,
It's his favorite.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite day of the week.
Okay.
So
brunch, dog.
Saturday
Brunch.
Yeah. Because that's actually up next.
Yeah, Saturday, May 14th. We're bringing back Bubbles and Bacchanal. Again, we're not really known for brunch per se. And last year with the whole COVID situation was happening, things was kind of opening up, but it wasn't quite open up.
It was a lot in flux.
Yeah, so we decided we couldn't do the full Hookie weekend the way we normally would. So we said, you know what, let's just do a brunch. And that was
a vibe, bro.
Yeah,
very
good.
Very good.
Nice.
So I'm going to tell you one thing that I love about your events in particular, especially the newer events. Like, I always want to play for the newer events.
Right.
Because I know that there's not a huge demand for it yet. So, like, if I get to play for it, I get to have fun.
Right.
Like, true fun. So, the hookies I've played for, the earlier hookies I played for, I've had the most fun because I got to, like, truly build a vibe.
Right.
Last year at Bubbles and Bacchanal, bro, yo, I had a ball playing, dog.
Yes.
I had a ball. Like, and the thing is, so often I always enjoy myself playing music.
Right.
As you know, you're a DJ too, so you get it. But, like, there's a difference when you get to go in your own zone and you're like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about what nobody else thinks.
Right.
They just gonna have to vibe.
Right.
And once I have that nonchalant attitude where people also vibe with it, it's just like the perfect union, dog. So I'm looking forward to it.
And the thing about it with especially with Bubbles, it's not like you have to go play this. You don't have to go play all the latest dance hall or the latest soca or whatever.
I played a straight old school dance hall set from like the 90s, bro.
Right. Like you just vibe out. I mean, when Back to Basics started playing like some 80s rock or something.
No, they absolutely did.
Crazy.
People loved it.
So that's
one person didn't, and there's always gonna be that one.
And who cares?
Right. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Like
that was like the PCP, bro.
Right.
Like the one person that went on Facebook.
And that's what like we say with with the patrons. Like we just want the patrons to come out and have an open mind. Like come out. Right. Don't come out with a predisposition that you want to hear X. Like come out ready to just enjoy yourself. Right. And then you'll have a good time.
Right.
Yep. So all right. So that's May 14th.
Saturday, May 14th. Yes, Bubbles and Bacchanal, Ivy City. Make sure you're there. It's gonna be crazy.
Your phone apparently thinks you.
Whoa.
was like, wait a minute.
I said
right. What is your password? This password is clearly something alcohol related. So
clearly, my phone is ready.
Right. So all right, y'all. Everybody, I heard that so far. The Hookie Life team, they got Bubbles and Bacchanal coming out May 14th. That's the brunch and the day party. You get your tickets to the brunch, food, bottomless mimosas.
Yeah.
Stay for the day party.
Make sure you wear shorts, fellas.
I don't want to see everybody kneecaps. I don't need to see all your thigh muscles. Just regular size.
The ladies like the shorts, fellas. Trust me.
I don't know, they do not.
Shit.
But I mean, come spring fresh, spring chic or whatever.
Right.
So it's definitely a wonderful vibe.
Love it.
And we love you guys for coming out and supporting.
So you can log on hookielife.com, get your tickets to that. You can get all your tickets to all the Hookie Weekend events. Yep. Make sure you're following Hookie Life so you can get all the updates, all the upcoming stuff. Because of course, after Hookie Weekend, there's
is there gonna be Havana Nights?
Havana Nights will be back this year.
All right. You heard it here. Havana Nights will be back. Kevin
Elkridge.
Kevin back Elkridge.
No, I'm joking.
He's like, no, I'm just joking. Keep it about it like, all the podcast is over. That spot that y'all had was it southeast, southwest?
The last one.
It was years ago. Was it Southwest?
No, are you talking about T Square?
Yes.
Georgetown.
Isn't
that joint closed like
it
closed the week after?
I don't know how y'all found that, but woo, that was
T Square was
T
Square was a vibe.
It's crazy. Like we've been fortunate. Like whether it's family, friends, whether it's just relationship, business relationships, whatever. Over the years, we've been able to find some amazing venues.
Sure.
Like, and now, not the normal stuff that you normally would hear about. So, Havana Nights is, I'm sure we're going to figure something else out. So, we'll announce that pretty soon.
Coronavirus! I'm sorry, I couldn't.
But but it will be a vibe though.
Drink your water. No.
And of course, and after Havana Nights,
Hookie Miami. Oh no. Oh, hold up.
There's more.
So we're doing something different this year. So after Havana Nights, we're actually going to be doing a brunch, but not just any brunch.
Another brunch.
Yeah.
Yes. We're going to be bringing brunch from New York City down to DC.
Back to basics vibes.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Tony Cross. So
all right.
we're going to be doing that. So that's
So I have my like Alexander McQueen's and my Givenchy
So it's
and like all my brands and shit.
Exactly.
So it's a full, all-inclusive kind of weekend because it's going Havana Nights, then into brunch.
Yeah.
All right. So that's
It's the same weekend.
Same weekend.
So
Saturday and Sunday.
So let me take Monday off.
Yeah, I got to use my other cultural.
Like this isn't Martin Luther King Day. Don't worry, this is my culture. This is my culture.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah, so,
I like it.
And then after that is Hookie Miami.
Is Miami. All right.
And then let me see what else. We got Wine Back.
Okay.
So Wine Back is definitely happening too. All that.
Wine Back is happening.
Okay.
And then we'll see what other things may pop up. I don't know. We'll see.
I like it.
Well, y'all heard it. Make sure you log on, get your tickets. The early bird for Hookie already, them done came and gone, right? So that was like 2 days and it was gone.
I'm sell out.
Right. So log on, get your tickets. Bubbles and Bacchanal, May 14th. Hookie weekend, Juneteenth weekend, and then everything else gonna be.
It's gonna be on the website.
It's gonna be on the website. So, all right, fellas, we got all of that stuff out the way.
Right.
Now, of course, we all know what just happened. I know a lot of people have discussed this. So we can't let the week go by and we not at least say something about it.
Sure.
So obviously
Let's
we're talking about Slapgate. We're discussing.
Yeah.
Everybody who watched the Oscars got a show that they were not expecting.
Right.
This
Everybody who didn't watch the Oscars.
People didn't watch the Oscars and.
I woke up first thing in the morning and it was like, did you see what happened at the Oscars? I was like.
And that's never a question where you feel like
nobody cares to
right. It's like, no, I didn't see what happened at the Oscars.
Like the Oscars is honestly like the way I look at it is like the State of the Union. Like I don't typically watch it.
Right.
Except for when Trump was doing it, because then it's like
you never
you just never know what's going to happen. So it's like
Space Force.
Right.
Yeah. What?
So like with the Biden State of the Union, you know it's going to be all right. This is going to be boring. So yeah, fellas. Now there's so many different aspects and takes on this.
Yes.
We can't unpack it all.
Right. So let's get to the meat and potatoes. What are you guys' thoughts? Like, how do you guys feel about what exactly happened? Like, justified, not justified? Like if you had to put someone at fault, who would you say?
At fault.
Yeah.
I gotta put both of them. I gotta put both of them at fault.
Okay.
And what I mean, you know what? This fault going to everybody.
Okay.
You can blame Chris Rock, but he's a comedian. And he's known for that style of comedian.
Sure.
That comedy, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, he probably shouldn't, if he knew, maybe he didn't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was just, hey, you know what? It's a joke. This is a joke.
Right.
No big deal. But I'm looking at Will Smith and I'm like, come on, bro. Like, my thing with him is you got to show more self-control. And I think it shows that he's dealing with some other issues more than just that joke, right? Like he's had a rough 2 years, 3 years, a little rough stretch. So I think
it's been a little rough.
Oh yeah. I think that's
a few entanglements
and and whatnot. You know what I mean? So you blame him because I mean think about it. He's 50 years old. He's like 51, 52 or something like that.
Yeah.
So you got to show a lot more self-control.
Sure.
So you got him to blame. At the same time, I got to blame Jada.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why.
All right.
It's a joke. Okay. It was a distasteful joke. All right, that's fine. But who lets their man go up there and embarrass himself up there? Like, okay, you're defending me, but... And ladies, I apologize if I'm thinking from a logical sense, right? Like, just like...
This nigga punching down like shit. I'm not fucking up. I'm about to say,
But like, okay, you're embarrassed, but are you gonna let your man go up there and kind of just like tarnish the whole evening, tarnish the whole experience of what was gonna be a wonderful experience? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my thing. So
I thought you were gonna go in a different direction with the Jada piece. So I agree with everything that you just said except for the Jada piece.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because, let's be real, Jada can't stop Will from doing shit. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. Hear me out. Like, she could have tried to say, "Hey, no, don't do that," but my guess is that she didn't even know that he was about to get up and do this shit. And what do you do in a moment like I don't think anybody expected what happened to happen.
Right.
So I can't speak for her, but I can only assume in her position. Your man gets up and starts walking and say, you still don't know what's about to happen.
Right.
Like, what do you do? Does she go and like grab him and say, no, let's go? Like, what if Will was gonna go up there and what if he hugged him? You know what I'm saying? And granted, it clearly didn't happen, but like, Jada didn't know what Will was gonna do because no one knew what Will was gonna do except for fucking Will.
The part of that statement that I don't agree with is that she could not have stopped. I didn't even think about it like that. But right here, right now,
sure.
Giving it no pre-thought, like she absolutely could have stopped him.
What could she have done?
If Will jumps up, if Will gets up, and she gets up and grabs him, and is like, "Babe, sit down."
But but again, that's only if she knew.
No, it doesn't matter what she thinks he's gonna do. It's not scripted, so she knows whatever he's doing is not on script.
Right.
So the minute you're about to do something,
but it was totally out of character. So hear this though, right? Like if we're gonna think about it being in character, to me, what would have actually been more in character was if he went up there, hugged him, and was like, "Yo, you a fool." And
that wouldn't because in reality, what he said wouldn't have warranted Will going up there and hugging him.
I agree, but
again, if I just think from a common sense perspective, like for me, if I see that man, woman, whatever, like somebody says something, and I know. Because if it was scripted, we're saying from Jada's perspective, right?
Sure.
If she knew he was going to do it, yeah, she would sit there. She knows he's going up there. She knows what's about to happen. But if I know you made this joke, and now I see you getting up, I'm like, yo, what the fuck you doing? Like, I at least want to know.
Like, part of it's like,
I'm grabbing you and like, yo.
Weren't they at a table, though? But she's across from the table. She wasn't sitting right next to him. So, like, she would have had to get up and, like, run around the table to grab him.
Grab your ass up.
Grab him.
I guess.
Here's the thing, right? Know your spouse, right? And
yeah, but that's not what he does, though.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
We haven't seen him do that. Like,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
my thing is, he's literally had a rough patch of years, right?
That nigga had a rough 2 years.
It's been rough.
Yeah,
it's been rough. So it's like, okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you might have an idea in terms of your spouse. They're going through something and say, you know what? This is probably not going to sit too well with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's my thing with it. It's just like, all right, he's getting up. He had to pull this chair back to get out the seat. At that moment, pause.
So here's another thing, though. Okay, so leading up to the episode today, so yesterday and today, I put up like an IG poll and something on Facebook, just specifically for ladies. Like, would you want your significant other to react the way that Will did, right? And by far, like the no's outweighed the yeses,
right?
But there were still a fair amount of yeses, right?
Because,
and like
this topic has been super
percentage wise, it was about 70%, and I'm roughly doing this. It was a little less actually, but 70% no and 30% yes. So, like, it's quite possible that Jada was a part of the 30%. Where you know what I'm saying?
Right. But then if that's the case, then what Hector's blaming her is saying that she had no problem with it.
Right.
If she was within that, if to her that was the appropriate way to handle that situation, then I think Hector's point is then she's also to blame in that because. But
again, I'm not
necessarily saying she is. I'm saying
right.
If we're saying that she was okay with how that was handled, because we don't know. We didn't.
But my thing is this still though, like whether she was okay with it or not. I I still can't I can't put blame on her for that aspect of it because he still does what he's a grown ass man.
Right.
So like even if she tried to stop him, he could have still walked up there and been like, I'm not saying he would have, but he could have. That's my point. Like there's no overpowering Will Smith from Jada. You know what I'm saying? Like so ultimately she can't stop him unless he allows her to. Right? So that's why I say I'm not saying she's innocent in it, but I'm just saying like from that aspect of it, I don't think she's at fault. And I thought the direction we're gonna go on when you talk about her was the airing out of their personal business on public TV / social media, playing a role in that. From that standpoint, I could see how like that likely contributed to his emotional state, his headspace, whatever it is.
The thing about it is everything is about context, right? So for those 30 or 40% of females who agreed with what happened, you got to look at it like this. There's a time and a place, right?
Right.
There's a time and a place where a reaction like that is warranted, right? Where you're actually trying to defend your wife.
Absolutely.
But we're talking about the Academy Awards.
What time and place is that? Let's put pause on Academy Awards.
No.
Just give me an example. Like what is the time and place where it's warranted?
Let's say you're in a situation, or let's say you're out in public somewhere. Well, maybe not out in public. Let's say you're in a Fed.
Right.
And somebody's actually blatantly disrespecting your wife. Not even your girlfriend, like your wife or something like that.
Verbally or physically?
Either or.
Okay, so...
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying I'm out here doing this. I'm just
No, I get it. So essentially what you're saying, though, is because it was the Academy Awards, because of the platform, he shouldn't have done it. But in a different scenario, you would have given him a pass.
I'm about to give my
I mean, that's what I just heard.
Give it a little pass.
I'm just trying to understand.
But the main point is that
Rich is like noodling.
I formed my opinion 2 days ago and it hasn't changed. So
I mean, in the main situation, well, all right, the main context of what was happening for that night, that was a bad look. You know what I mean? Like,
Agreed.
you are winning an Academy Award. Like you can count the amount of black males that have won.
On one hand.
You're number 4.
Best actor, right?
Right.
Number 4, right?
Number 4.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Time soon.
And the thing is, okay, so I didn't even watch it, right? But the thing about it, they were talking about it. They didn't even talk about him winning the award for like 15 minutes into the story.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
So because it didn't matter at that point. It was tarnished.
It's completely overshadowed by what happened. So that's the thing. You know what I mean? And that's what we talk about, like with Denzel. He's saying, hey, what did he say? But
he said when you're at your highest point, that's when the devil comes to knock you down.
And that's the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I want to hear from you.
No, I'll go ahead. I'll get to mine. Go ahead.
Rich loves to do this shit. Rich loves to be like, all right, I got the grenade here. I'm gonna until you say everything. Then I'm gonna just throw it over there and blow it. Everybody did. First and foremost, like. If I'm gonna say anyone was wrong, it was Will.
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
Hands down. Like there's no other person to blame in this particular situation. Now, I do believe that the joke was tasteless.
Oh yeah.
But that's also with the context that I understand what Jada's going through because I've paid attention enough to know that she has alopecia. I don't know if Chris knew that. Right. I also have heard, don't know how true it is, he didn't write the joke.
That's one of those things I don't know that's been confirmed.
Right, so it hasn't been confirmed, but I've heard, and it's plausible because very often comedians, especially for TV, they have writers.
They always have writers for award shows. However, I would imagine, this is me having no inside knowledge, that someone on the level of a Chris Rock can ad-lib.
No, sure. So it's possible that he did ad-lib it.
Yes, there's writers, and he's also throwing in some of his own. So.
But I will also say, like for me right now, I'm not on social media like that. Like even though I put the poll up, the only reason that I'm on social media right now, and this is for Lent, is to market. Right? So it's not that foreign in my mind that Chris might not be following all the shit that's going on social media or whatever. So it is quite possible that he didn't know that she's going through whatever it is, right? Yeah. So there's that aspect of it. The other aspect of it is, you know, I hated growing up hearing the whole sticks and stones may break my bones bullshit because words can hurt.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But the only piece of that I will agree to, though, is like somebody saying something fucked up, especially to adults, not kids, to adults, should not equate to physical harm in any way.
To a full box.
Right. No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Even if all Will did was go up there and push him, like you don't touch somebody because they said something fucked up, right? Like that is like. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen because we live in a country where the First Amendment allows you to say whatever you want, but it's quite possible for me to do whatever I feel like as a result.
That's why the second lets you carry the hammer.
Exactly, right? So, you know, in hindsight, Monday morning quarterbacking, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Not having any of the shit that's on my mind that Will had on his mind. Mm-hmm. I truly believe that what would have been way more graceful would have been like if he waited to address it when he was accepting his award, or if he didn't accept the award because he would not have known for sure if he was accepting the award or not. But I'm sure he knew, right? Like I mean, like, but I'm gonna for devil's advocate, addressing it later on, right?
Listen, he could have just went in the back, beat his ass real quick, or smacked him in the back. And just and nobody would have known. This would have been the thing.
We're not saying no violence. We're saying no violence on TV.
No, listen, you got an image to protect, all right?
Yeah, like on the real, I was even fine with the keep my wife's name out your fucking mouthpiece. Like, I still would have done that, like me personally, because that's just not how I am. I'm not a confrontational person at all. And it's interesting because I've spoken to a fair amount of females, particularly the ones who answered yes, right? Because I wanted to dig into like, why would you want this, right? And what I got, the common theme was, and this is not something I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to do, but something to keep in context. A lot of women feel as though, and you kind of hit this a second ago when you talked about being logical, right? And not beating you because being logical. A lot of women feel as though we as men don't stand up for them in situations, which, because we're looking at it one way, we're like, it's not even worth us doing anything about this shit. Let's move on. Whereas there, like, a lot of women are like, stand up for me, right? Exactly. So there's clearly a disconnect there. So as a result, I'm not about to just say, well, their opinions don't matter, because clearly there are enough women who are saying or who feel this way.
100%.
So there's an aspect of that as well, but still, again, hitting someone is never going to be like my thing. Like I don't ascribe to it, but I've also been in a situation where I haven't hit anybody, but I've gotten into a physical altercation, and then afterwards been in like, this is really out of character, and I had to really stop and think like, what was I going through that led me to this point to do something that's out of character, which leads me back to like the main point again, him being, in my opinion, very wrong for physically doing it, but me understanding that there's clearly something that's weighing on him that he needs to address, whether it's through therapy, whether it's through going to church, whatever it is, he needs to address something. I read his book, Will, like it's a great book. And I from reading it, especially after all that went on with the entanglement bullshit, I was like, yo, he's actually going down a path of trying to figure out himself. Like, he's clearly going through issues, and he has been going through issues for years since he was young, but it's evident that he's still going through them in this particular situation. But what I will say, the last thing I'll say before I hand it over to you on this particular topic of the bigger topic is, I got to give it to Chris Rock, bro. Like, to be in that position and to be composed enough, if this was real, of course, to take a slap from anybody. And to me, it doesn't even matter if it was a bigger person or a smaller person. To take a slap on live TV, stay composed. Like, you can tell he was flustered. Like, he didn't just, like, keep on going. Like, he tried to keep on going. He, like, stumbled a little bit and then finally caught himself and kept on going.
He had to process.
But the fact that he, like, was able to continue and like not retaliate particularly physically. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a confrontational person, but somebody slapped me, I might get my ass whooped, but I'm trying something.
Right, you're gonna regret that you put
something. Especially the way he walked off. Oh, I'm taking a cheap shot.
Listen,
I'm kicking you in your back.
The Jamaican in me won't allow that just to pass.
Right,
Something happened.
Right.
I'm telling you, like something happened.
It don't matter how uptown I am. Listen, I'm kicking you.
Listen, something.
I'm finding something to hit you with.
Something. Something. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, but you know,
Brooklyn took an L that night.
So not Rich, like,
hey, my thoughts on it are pretty simple. Actually, it's not even all that.
Okay.
I think Will was wrong. First of all, we'll start there. I'm not even really as upset about. I'm not as upset with Will anymore. I'm so upset with people now. Like when I'm like I've gotten over. Not even gotten over because it's never. I think to me it was funny. Like it happened. Like I told y'all before, I made 3 memes immediately. Like it was hilarious to me because at the end of the day, these guys are
multi-millionaires,
and not just even the money. Take the money out of it, right? They are peers in this realm, and they have been in this industry long enough to where you know that once that happened. Managers and publicists and spokespeople got involved and pulled and started right.
Tyler Perry
started crafting message because it was like whoa, all right, no, we can't.
I'm sure Oprah used a bat phone and made a phone call. I was like, look,
I wouldn't be surprised if Jay Prince was in this.
He might have been behind that apology.
Right. Yeah, what I'm saying. Pulling that aside, like, hey, damn. So, you know,
he was like, you're bigger than Kyle. So I'm not going to put you on video, but you got to write something.
Apologize. You know what I'm saying? So, truth be told, like,
somebody get a gun butt behind the scenes,
right? Like, you know,
yeah.
So I got so upset at people when it was like, okay, now that it's happened and you sat on your couch and can sit back and observe what happened, can't say to yourself, you know what, as a grown man, because Will had a moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can say it was unacceptable, whatever.
Sure.
He had a moment.
Right.
We're entitled to moments.
We all are.
Yeah. So I'm not going to fault him for having a moment. It was wrong.
Right.
Time and place was bad.
Sure.
Even to Hector's point, where I was like, I don't even think it was just about being at the Academy Awards. I think it was more about what was said was not a direct attack.
Sure.
It was a
tasteless joke.
Tasteless joke.
Right. That's all it was, really.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like all of the people who are talking about defending her, it's like she was not being attacked. I don't care how you try to frame that.
Yeah.
This was not like some random stranger or some person that was the enemy. This was a man who is your peer, who you know is a comedian.
Who's actually somewhat of a friend.
Right.
Yeah.
Who you know is a comedian.
Sure.
So you also know that this is what, and you're at the Oscars, where routinely, this is what comedians do.
We're going to roast, they're going to roast somebody.
They broke it down
and
where they were like,
in front at that.
Look, two people who are very in the industry broke down where they said, like, you have to understand the whole point of the comedians roasting them is because when you look at it,
all these motherfuckers.
Right, because it's like one millionaire is getting an award from another multimillionaire for some shit they did while a bunch of everyday working Joes watch them. So to kind of like bring them back down to reality, we're going to have comedians come out there and bring them back down to size a little bit.
And that's the history of having comedians
it is
do this.
Always. So you as a person who has been in this industry long enough, you know that this is what they do.
Right.
This is what Chris Rock does.
Yeah.
So your reaction to that, like, and we can sit here and say, oh, well, he shouldn't have said that. Guys, that's what they signed up for.
Right. No, I agree.
We didn't sign up for it. So no, you're not going to come and disrespect my girl in a situation like that because you're not seeing me on the street.
Right.
And going to come talk shit about my girl because I'm like, dog, like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, my reaction will be closer to what Will actually did. But the difference is in this scenario, you're actually posing a threat. Chris Rock didn't pose a threat.
Right.
And you knew that.
Right.
So your reaction to what was never a real threat was completely out of line. So
and this is why I will say, like what I said before, that reaction wasn't just about the joke.
Oh, it wasn't about the joke at all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It was, that was a proverbial straw that broke the camel's back.
Right. So that's why I said Will had a moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We all understand that. But this notion where you see the people who are like, well, that's what I want my man to do and blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
it's
and
scary.
Because now what you're saying is, hey, as a unit, as people, as a society, and this isn't a race thing, you're saying that, you know what? I want things handled with violence. And you're encouraging children to say, hey, if they say something you don't like, just go slap them.
Yeah.
So now in school, I have to come and deal with my son getting suspended.
Yep.
Because now they're being taught by people like outside of, because with children, you can do your best, but outside influences play
100%.
a big role in their development.
Yeah. So put a pin in that for a second.
I hate when he does this because I never can.
Just remember. I'm actually following up on your exact point there, though. Right? Sorry. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
So.
I'll remember mine.
Twice I was like, dog, I'm not going to remember what I was saying. So now I got to come to school because my son or my daughter thought that because someone said something to them, it was appropriate to go put hands on them because, I watched Will Smith movies and then we sat down and watched the Oscars and everybody said he did the right thing.
Right.
So we are creating this narrative of this is how you handle conflict.
Right.
And like you said, Will Smith is in his 50s.
Yeah.
Like at what point does maturity have to be a factor where like how you would have dealt with something in high school is not how you should deal with something as an adult. So that's my bigger problem is that the people are acting like this was appropriate or that this was right. And I'm like, this is the problem with our society now because now we're saying, you know what? At no point, at no income level, at no education level can we get out of this stigma of if you cross me, I got to come see you. Yeah, at what point do we evolve beyond that and just be able to say, he could have, let's say he didn't have a moment, right? After the awards presented, go catch Chris backstage. Yo, dog, the fuck, yo, she got alopecia. That's a big deal for her. Like, she's pissed off right now because some shit you said, oh, my bad. Well, I didn't even know that. Dog, all right, look, you got to make this right, bro. Yeah. Tell her I'm gonna talk to no. You can't apologize. You gotta apologize publicly. Right. Like I need a tweet. I need like the apology gotta match the insult, bro. I got you.
Right.
I don't know these dudes, but I believe
there's room for that.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And this way, none of this would have even. Chris Rock could have tweeted an apology out earlier today. I said some stuff, blah blah blah,
or even said it on the awards,
or came back out and said it. But either way, now. We still get to look at Will for standing up for his wife.
Right.
He still gets that same props and respect. But I actually have more respect for you now because you handled it in a way like a 50-year-old man should.
Right, exactly.
With that, a 50-year-old man dealing with a peer. Yeah. That's like you say something about, my girl that I know, okay, you was making a joke. You didn't realize what you said. I'm going to come to you. I'm talking to you. Dre, bruh, so XYZ happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're a peer. So I'm not viewing you as a threat.
Right. Sure.
You're not a random dude on the street that's coming up to me. Because again, like I said, you random on the street and you not come up.
That's different.
Right. Because I have no reason to believe that you don't mean to do me harm. Sure, so of course, my response to that is going to be different. But we need to outgrow this mentality that this was the appropriate way to handle that. Like, I don't care who says what.
Right.
I saw somebody say a post, and it was so narrow-minded. The post was, seeing y'all men say Will Smith was wrong shows me y'all would definitely let any disrespect pass to y'all wives, girlfriends, daughters, or whatever. And I typically don't respond to posts because I know that that's a rabbit hole where it's like, I left the comment, now it's the fight on Facebook I don't want. But I was so irritated. I was like, it's interesting to me to think that you're saying that because a person can say one thing is wrong, that automatically affects
everything else.
How they would handle every other scenario. I was like, that's pretty small-minded of you to think that. And that's the problem, where people are equating that like, you're married. You have 2 kids, mom. I have a kid. No, what I'm saying.
No. I'm not married.
Right. Because what you're telling me is, what you're telling me is, because I can't say,
anything
this
about
person
my
was,
baby mamas,
but I'm saying I can't say this person was wrong and still not let somebody disrespect my girl. It's like, like how can't, that's absolutely false. I can look at you in this scenario and say, dog, you could have handled that differently.
Right.
And you still can't just come call my girl a bitch in front of me. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So the point that I was gonna make, I forgot.
Okay.
I'm just joking.
I know.
Just joking. But no. So I was really just going to co-sign what you were saying and just add a little bit more context. So like, I actually believe that there are a number of parents that would actually be okay.
No, absolutely.
with their kid, like taking up for it, because it would be the. I know it was wrong for them to hit the other child, but he was standing up for someone else, so I'm okay with that. Right, because it's honestly the same concept that we've talked about in the past about like cancel culture, where when it like works for you, you're okay with it, but then when it doesn't work for you, you're like, oh, this is some bullshit.
Exactly.
Right. So that's one aspect of it. The other cosign I'm going to give you is with the kind of all or nothing piece that I really hate, because it's like just like politics, just like religion, people feel like they have to choose a side. Right. And I hate it. I hate it because it's like, I think that I can say that Will was wrong, but I also think that I can say I understand why Will did it. Right.
And I can also say that doesn't mean that because I say Will was wrong.
Right.
Doesn't mean I would just let somebody
Right. And the same way how I can say, like, I think Chris made a tasteless joke doesn't mean that I automatically mean that I think that Chris should be reprimanded for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was a tasteless joke.
There still needs to be a certain level of grace that we extend to each other in general.
Yes.
That we just don't. And it's sad because, like, I hate to continue bringing up the cancel culture piece, but it really doesn't allow space for people to make any kind of mistake. You make a mistake and you get canceled, it's like at that point, then I might as well just fucking just do whatever I want to do.
Right, because either way,
it's like it's damn if I do, damn if I don't.
It's like the old saying, like, she gonna be mad if I come home at 2 a.m.
Or I might as well
come home at 6. Yeah. If it's the same cuss again,
I don't actually agree with that, but I agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw that shit and I said it at the time I was with somebody. I said it to my girl at the time, and she was like, "No." I was like, "Damn,
that wasn't smart." Like, no, now you have to be home at 11.
Right? Now, nigga, you cannot go out. That's it.
But you know, the one thing I will say with this whole thing is, Will Smith, Chris Rock, they both represent black excellence, right?
Absolutely.
And more so than anything, whether he's right or wrong, it just tarnished their images. Oh. You know what I'm saying? And more so,
I don't believe so, but go ahead.
And not even, I wouldn't even say Chris Rock per se, because I mean he's the one who got boxed, but Will Smith,
he's the victim,
right? His image is tarnished on the streets of Brooklyn, right?
It's like he just has no street cred.
Better not be walking down the street.
Well, he gonna get robbed within the next couple of months, though.
Chris Rock got to slap somebody on GP now.
He has to have somebody.
Better not be walking down the street. Like, just like, but anyway, but in particular, Will Smith. I mean, think about it. We don't have any what negative image do we have of Will Smith?
Sure.
The only thing is, okay, the whole August entanglement situation.
But that's not even
right. So this is the first time in his whole career that we're saying we really have a negative image.
And that's actually the reason why I say I don't think that it is actually tarnished his name or his career, or now I'm not saying that it hasn't impacted. I'm not saying that, right?
Well, okay, maybe tarnish is harsh.
Because I think tarnish has like a connotation that
tarnish has a more permanent.
It's some longevity there, right? Like, I think that yes, on a short term, it's going to affect him, but I think the point you just made is that we don't have anything like that to compare it to for real, and ultimately, it's not a case that anybody's gonna give him a pass, but I think people will acknowledge that this was completely out of character for Will. Right. So I think a lot of this is going to come down to the way that they handle this moving forward. Now, if he steps up and he's like, I did what I did, I don't care, which he's not going to do, then that's different.
Here's, and I guess you're right, with it depends on the follow-up actions. Because when you think about it, right, we still talk about Kanye and Taylor Swift, right? We still talk about Lil Mama,
but that's because they continue.
But that's because Kanye continues to compound.
But more so than anything, it's just, we all know as black folks, there's a time to be on code, right? When you're out there, there's a time and place.
I mean, some black folks,
but like Will Smith
Will Smith has definitely knows or should.
No, he knows. He knows, but I will say, of course, I don't know him, but reading his book, like he don't come from a space where like he's not a roughneck. He's never been a roughneck, but he also doesn't come from a space where like he is just this affluent kid either, right? Like it was more of a case where
he's been rich for too long.
But no. I'm not knocking that.
Okay,
right?
because I'm about to say you can't.
Yeah,
no, I'm not knocking that.
30 years.
I'm not knocking that. But the old adage says, and I'm gonna use a rough thing here. Like you can take me out of.
I know what you're gonna say.
You can take me out of DC, but you can't take DC out of me. Like no. At a core level. At a core level, right? And fuck it. We're gonna take it out of this particular situation. We're gonna look at it from like just everyday psychology, right? Mm-hmm. There are things that have affected you from childhood, no matter how much therapy you go to, that like you address and that you may even acknowledge that affect the way you do shit like today. And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying that the richness. But the wealth doesn't like.
But it's not just wealth, right? It's lifestyle. Will Smith has been famous from parents simply don't understand.
He's been famous from like 17 or something like that.
He is 50 now. At a certain point,
but he was broke for a lot of that. Though,
but even in broke, when you get put on the spot, because that's why like a lot of child actors have all these unresolved issues because they were thrust into this life before they developed, right? He's been in this lifestyle his entire life and has had money for a lot of it.
Yeah,
a good portion of it. I use the example of like Jay-Z. Let's look at the elevator incident, right?
Right.
He handled that like a billionaire who knew I got too much to lose, Solange.
Sure.
So he took his box up from Solange. He knew he was wrong. It wasn't even no stage. He didn't even know that cap.
That's a false equivalency, though.
Here's what I'm saying, right?
Go ahead.
Even as they left that elevator,
right?
They all put on the right face.
Yep.
Went out, and then what did they do? They crafted their message.
Sure.
They dropped 3 albums. They made more money.
right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He has gotten to a point where like
had another 2 more kids.
Right. He is, so what I'm saying is like with Will Smith, I can't pretend like his upbringing from childhood is still influencing the way he acts now, because the majority of his life has been this now. So this, I think, is having a greater influence on what he's doing than this. Like, if this is the minority, this is the beginning.
It still plays a role, though, bro.
I don't think so.
Listen, my thing is this, right?
Not this deep.
You're 50 years old, 50 plus years old.
Yeah.
You got 3 kids, 3 adult kids, just about.
Yeah.
His youngest is what, probably like 18 or something like that.
Who, Willow?
Nah, Willow's a full grown adult. She's an adult.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dog. He's like, I can't give you a pass for your child.
It's not even a pass. It's just added context, right? Like, because I understand exactly what you guys were saying, and I agree to a point. But all I'm saying is, if the stars align, certain shit might just happen that like you're out of your out of the 50 years, the 30 years that were of wealth and the 20 years that weren't, sometimes that 20 might outweigh the fucking 30 in the moment. Again, like in the moment. It's not like you know what I'm saying? I don't believe that, if this is real, I don't believe that Will thought this through. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's the difficulty with how like we report on it or comment on it, because like we're looking at it from like
we couldn't know.
We're looking at it from a very conscious like and process standpoint.
And so here's the point I'm trying to make, right? Okay. I think that the last 3 years played a bigger role in what happened than his childhood. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm not putting it on way back when.
Sure.
I'm saying the thing that is going to have the bigger influence.
But that shit brought out the 20 years.
Your fault.
But the 20 years, I don't think
he's stupid.
He's swinging.
He's like, let
me tell you something. Jada, you get him on bun. Will couldn't handle the bun. You understand? And this is the reason why he might deal with the thing the way he might deal with it. You understand? Certain people not ready for that level of money.
That's why Chris get boxed up.
The memes, dog.
Listen,
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, though.
I felt for him.
I
Like literally, as soon as I saw this shit happen, like before any memes, and like when I saw that it happened, I was like, oh shit, Black Twitter is about to go in, and the memes about to go in.
They were very quick with it.
Oh
one thing,
God.
one thing I will give props to though. Chris Rock took it like a champ. Now I'm kind of like looking at Will kind of sideways because I'm like, you couldn't even drop Chris Rock, though.
Well, I mean, essentially he slapped him.
But,
but slapping him is not going to put him down, though.
I'm not saying it should have, but it could have rocked him back a little bit, like something like.
That's why I still kind of don't believe it was real, dog.
And so this is what I'm saying. Right? I don't know if it was real or not. I really don't because like we talked before off air, where we were just kind of like breaking down. And it's like, I don't think the Academy is stooping to this for ratings.
100% agree.
Right. So I don't believe that the Academy is signing off on this because this is just not their brand at all. Right?
I mean, this might be a Chris and Will thing.
And right. So I'm thinking if it's a Chris and Will thing, right? Which it might be.
I mean, the red talk table is already lining up.
My question is,
and Chris Rock's tickets are fucking sold out.
Right. So my question to Will is this worth it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all sat there, because y'all are both two intelligent, right? But y'all are both two grown, intelligent men. You're about to be the fourth man to win the Academy Award.
Actor, yeah.
Is this really worth it, dog?
As like a businessman,
you think so?
He probably had that conversation with Chris. Like, look, I heard the sales not going too good, so guess what? We're gonna do this thing, and then the sales are gonna drive up, and then we're gonna do a Netflix special, and then we're gonna do a documentary.
And then write a book. I'm gonna tell you right now, if a movie drops with Chris and fucking Will, bro,
listen,
like everybody gonna be like, okay, I understand now.
Yeah,
because we all talking about the shit.
Yeah,
we all talking about the shit, and like I don't know, like so there's one more piece though that like I want to dig into just a little bit, right? And it's particularly around us, right? So in a situation like this, so I already know based off of our conversation, right? Like if we were in a similar situation, depending on the venue for you, right?
So not at Hookie.
Right. Like not on the grand scale. So on the grand scale, you're not hitting a nigga, but like behind scenes, you might put down a motherfucker.
Somebody I get drip up, yo.
Quick. Okay, so you end up in a situation with your significant other, right? And it's like this. So we're not going to say it's this particular situation, but in this one, as Nicki Minaj said, which honestly, it was the first time in my life where I was like, shit, I'm actually starting to agree with people that I would never agree with. So Nicki Minaj,
with the look, when she said the look,
Kevin Samuels had something like there was a few people, right?
So it's a question.
The Nicki Minaj piece had to do with like the difficulty of being at this point a black man who sees his wife struggles with whatever the issue is every single day, and then in a situation where she's the butt of a joke, whatever.
Right.
You end up in a situation, right? You all end up in a situation like this. You all know that your wife or your significant other, it's breaking her heart in this particular situation. I'm also throwing a caveat. You all also know that she has not felt like you have defended her in the past, in the past with maybe not this particular situation, but other situations where she could have been defended or should have been defended. How are you dealing with this particular situation? Or this scenario, rather.
That's a very complex question.
It's super complex.
It is, but keep it general, though.
Well, see, the problem is with the question. I'm not gonna nitpick the question, but the problem with it is that it's very vague. Because it's like I'm in a scenario where
I give you. I
can answer it. I'll give it I give it a quick answer. It depends on the situation and the place. So like I said, if you're not being, if what it is a situation where it is hurtful to you, then I can talk to and reason with that person about what it is that they did that offended you, because at the end of the day, if you don't know how your words are impacting this person, then it's my job to educate you. Because if I just come fly off the handle, you don't know what you did that got there. So now you're like, well, fuck it, we fighting. And now we're here fighting. You don't understand why we're fighting, because to you, you're like, I didn't know any, I don't have any of this backstory.
Sure.
Now, so as a reasonable person, it's my job to make sure that I address your concerns, but I do it in a way that, as someone at my age knows, is the appropriate way to handle it. Now, with that being said, I go over to you to talk to you, XYZ, man, fuck that bitch. Then now that's a different.
I'm gonna put some hands on this motherfucker.
Right now you've because I came over to you. Right, I came over to you respectfully. Yeah. And you didn't respond to that in a way that made sense. Yep. But you see what I'm saying? So it comes down to A, the situation, and B, the response to the situation. But for me, I'm always going to opt, and this is as someone who didn't always look at things this way, because as I was younger, I've had some slight issues with controlling tempers and anger.
Sure.
So as I got older, and honestly got in trouble for impulse control issues, I've learned that, you know what, as we get older, we can't keep allowing these things.
Same things to drive the way we...
Right. Yeah. And that's what bothers me so much about this, because I'm like, the people that are encouraging this don't understand that Will Smith is a broke man on the street, or a regular working class guy on the street, and does that, there's a chance he goes to jail.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So now
he could have gone to jail.
Not jail, but at least gotten the charge. You know what I'm saying? So like, what y'all are condoning is something that has been a thing that we've been fighting against forever. So we need to get out of that mentality, because that mentality is what is part of what is keeping us back. Like I said, at that age, intelligence, and income level, you got to know there's other ways that you could have handled that.
Black excellence.
Right.
So you.
It's a loaded question, and without...
There's no right or wrong answer.
All right. I will say this, right? May not have.
I know this means that it's happened. Go ahead.
Had to deal with somebody quite recently.
Right.
But I had to slap him off.
But it boils down to, I've seen a situation. I've been in a situation. Oh, I should say it.
Nigga, just say it, man,
been in a situation where, you watch your wife go through a situation where they're being disrespected, and you may not know. Maybe you come to it on the back end. You weren't there for the initial part,
right?
But then you realize after a conversation that the level of what happened and the level of seriousness. So I could see in that particular instance where Will might have said, "Okay,
this is you now, not Will.
This is." Yeah. So me though, I mean, I'm older now, right? So the thing with me is this: like, I like to believe I have a lot of self control. So it takes me a lot to get to that point where I'm ready to just haul off and to get to a point where I'm going to ready for box you. Like, it takes me a lot. So the level of disrespect would have to be so great that, and that's not giving an excuse for disrespect.
No, for sure.
But you understand what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Because I am thinking of, okay, well, what happens if things go left? Then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I could say, and we don't even have to dwell on this, think about it like this, right?
Yeah.
Right before he was shot, Tupac and them jumped some dude in a...
Right,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Your actions right now
play a role in your future.
So now I come out of my face and I haul off on you for something.
Yep.
And then later on, I'm in a body bag.
Yep.
Because because you know
I
what I'm saying?
can't go home to my kids. So
right. So now at the end of the day, who's defending it? You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting it in a perspective of you let somebody disrespect.
No, for sure.
But at the same time, you got to remember at the end of the day, there's a lot more at stake a lot of the times, and some of these people, their reactions are way worse than what your reaction to that would be. Sure. Some of this is just not worth it.
Right. Right.
It's just not worth it. So
yeah.
And then 2007, you ever do something, and we gonna end on this one because we not gonna. You ever do something, And you kind of look back at your wife like, you start that to know. I hear me and this man getting ready to fight, and I was going, that kind of fault to know.
So, I mean, I haven't been in that situation, but to answer the same question, because I think it's only fair to answer the question, I'm not even, it's real easy for me. I'm definitely not slapping nobody unless they, like, try to do something to me. But what I will say is based off of the conversations that I've had and the commentary that I've seen on the polls, I'm seeing room for figuring out how to defend a significant other better
without having
than we have done before, right? So it's like I'm not going all the way to be like, I'm gonna smack somebody, because I'm not doing that.
Right.
But it's like maybe there are things that we could do as men to defend, if defense is even necessary. Because that's another thing. Like, I gotta know, like, do you need to be defended in this situation, or do you not?
And also, it's not even about finding out if they need to be defended. You, from a common sense perspective, like, again, so we can use the Will Smith example again, where it's like, that was not an attack. So you took a situation that was a, like we said, a tasteless joke, and now you've turned it into what you're viewing as an attack, when in reality, that was not an attack.
Right.
So, are you actually defending this person, or are you stroking your own ego? Because that's the next thing.
Good point.
Like, so,
I mean, sometimes we just, we got to be just logical and say, look, let's take a step back and look at the whole thing and say, all right, is this really making sense?
Right.
Like,
and is this reaction?
Is this really worth me going to jail for or getting shot up for?
I'm a very macro level guy. Like a lot of times, people be like, "Dog, you have no emotion," because I don't think that any of this makes sense right now. I'm thinking long term, and this is gonna fuck up my long term.
Yeah, it's gonna fuck up my short term.
Right.
That too.
Exactly. So
all right, folks. There's been some good conversation. Hector, thank you for coming through, rocking with us.
No problem.
You're always welcome back.
Yeah, for sure.
The events are coming up. Like we said, we got Strictly the Best April 17th. We got Prestige.
The week after.
April 24th.
Mm-hmm.
We got May 14th, Bubbles and Bacchanal. And then, of course, Hookie Weekend, Juneteenth weekend. We got everything you need. The DMV is going to be lit this summer, so make sure you're following Hookie Life, Logic Promotions, DJ Hazard Music, and Dre, anything you got to add?
We bubbling, dog. DC, we bubbling.
So summer is coming. So I know it's a little cold this week, but
shorts,
fellas.
Pause.
regular size shorts, fellas. Regular length shorts, please. So make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms. Click the link to get all the notifications. As always, from the Guys Unpacked podcast, this is Dre. This is Rich. We've had Hector. And we are out.
Later.
All right.
If you enjoyed this, make sure you check out all our full episodes on YouTube at Guys Unpacked.
Also available anywhere you get your podcast, and follow us on all social media at Guys Unpacked.